Hello, it's Mickey Joe. How are we keeping everybody? I hope everybody's well this evening, this Saturday evening. I hope everybody's doing good. We have more voting to do tonight in different parts of it. But we chill for a few minutes. We chill for about 20 minutes and just have a chat. I think that's fair enough with everybody. Hope we're well, White Irishman. Hope we're keeping well. Good to see you back. It's good to see you. Hope you have a good weekend. Yeah, but see, the people wanted the change. Like in the community post, we did a poll and people voted for the change. Like we asked them, do they want this change? And people voted for the change. So we had to go where people said. If people said no, we keep it the way it was. But a lot of people wanted the change. You live again? Yeah, we're going to be live for the next few days, because this is only like we're not going to get through it all. We have to re-vote on basically the proposals. The proposals at the moment are on the community posts. Just to say. Sorry, give me a moment. I have no moderator here today, just as my moderator's tired. It was an awful lot. We threw an awful lot. But the thing is up in the community post now, what we have so far. But what I'm saying about Monday, we will look at it all, basically, to just give the thumbs up. To see is everybody happy. So that's what we voted on yesterday, pretty much what's in up yesterday. Yeah, just now. We'll just have to finish and get it there. No, yeah, but the mods were very tight. Now there's an awful lot yesterday to go through because I basically didn't take a break, so we might just take a break here. But we're taking just 20 minutes just to chill for a moment, then we get started. The first two, part two and part three, pretty much just should be just me saying it to you, unless people have an objective to it and want to propose an amendment. But what we'll be voting on today is pretty much just the basics, because I want to just keep it the same. To be told, as I don't think it needs to be changed. Number 2 and number 3, I don't think so, unless people do. But number 7 might need to be changed a small bit, and that's what we need to vote on and stuff. And of course, any amendments and stuff. But what I would say, people to do, look at the community post. If you can, please do look at the community post if you can, just if you have a second there, because that's what we voted on yesterday. Now we have to vote on the Monday. That's what we voted on yesterday, to just say, yeah, this is okay. Everybody's happy with it. Because there could be the termination of some of the stuff we said could be wrong, because it's supposed the way we phrased and stuff. But just basically double check it. We'll double check on Monday. Tomorrow we have to do more voting on the other amendments, etc. Number 5, number 6, and number 8. How it has to be gone through again. Number 5 is going to be difficult because it's to do with the Constitution of Ireland. And how do you terminate what do we abide by the Constitution, etc. That's going to be a tough one. It's going to take a lot of debate, probably, to argue which is what, and what exactly in the Constitution are we, not listening to, I suppose, in a way. But again, that'd be up to people's determination on what we select out of the Constitution, I suppose. At the moment, it's full on whatever's in the Constitution. Yeah, but this is the thing. I've often seen it on channels and stuff that White Irishman, that people would say that the moderators basically are too up in the head, in terms of the power they get, etc. And the same as myself. So this is the thing, that the people give us the power to do what we need to do on the stream. That it's by the people's consent, I suppose. That's the way we have. We have a unique way, I suppose, here. That was since 2020. We have that way. So it's not like we're just being a dictatorship here, because it's more or less the people say to us what they want and we can do it then, I suppose. And I think that's fair, because it's not like we have to, we're telling you what is acceptable, what do you want for us to do. You get what I'm saying? It's not like we're saying we're going to do it this way. It's by people's consent. That's the whole idea of this. And I think it's a fair way, and I do think it's a really fair way. But as I say, we give it 20 minutes or so. We have a break, but we're not break, but we just chat among ourselves for about 20 minutes, because we're basically just going to I'm going to basically throw the bookers at you. But yeah, so number 2 and number 3 should just be passed straight away. It's number 7 there might be a bit of debate about tonight, but hopefully not too long. But number 5 tomorrow night will be very long debate. It would nearly probably take an hour to debate what we're going to change, what way we're going to work that one. Number 6 and number 8 could be. Number 8 might be difficult. Number 8 might be. But we will have a look anyway. We'll have a look and see what we can do. But as I say, the amendments from yesterday are up on the community post. There will be obviously tonight's one to be up tomorrow. But there will be a lot more. Obviously, of course, every one of these things, just to say, on Monday, every one of this, like what we have here from yesterday, this is all from yesterday, just to say. So everything here, every part of this, from part one to the bottom, has to be voted on again, just to say, yeah, we agree with that determination. Because people might say, look, I don't agree with the determination of, say, number two, because it might be the way we're phrasing that people might not agree with. Because that's what we were looking for, terminology and what people would say, what exactly. So we look at it Monday. That'll be Monday. We vote on everything, basically. Whatever we get, if we get everything done. But it's going to be an awful lot more to vote on. And it probably will be. We do have a proposed amendment. Actually, it's to do with, particularly to do with impersonations. This is to do with part 7. It's supposed to be added on to part 7. And it's to do with, I suppose, and I suppose somebody proposed this yesterday. And I suppose it's a good idea too, after the stream, that it said to me. That's to do with AI. Say, for example, somebody made an AI of me, etc. A channel dedicated just basically to AI, etc. Basically impersonating me, or somebody that is uploading my whole videos, take for example, or you're looking for money, and I suppose this should have been added into number 7 at the time too, because there is YouTubers that there's accounts being made that are asking people for money. Not me, take for example, but other people making accounts of YouTubers that be asking people for money, etc., thinking that's the YouTuber. And I do think that probably should be included in number 7. We could add it into number 7, but we were voting it's the proposed amendment. But I do think about this. Did say about sharing videos, we upload the videos. I don't think we should vote on that. But when we get to number 7, we can talk about that, because I do think people are entitled to share videos, etc., if it's on their own platform and stuff. Because again, I don't make any money for it. It'd be different if you were making money from it. I do think it would be different in that regard. But we can talk about when we get there. That's part 7. So that's the proposed amendment. So we will take proposed amendments, just to say, to anything else anybody wants to add for number 1 if we haven't missed anything. Yesterday, because there was an awful lot we voted on yesterday. I think it was it must have been upwards of 15 votes, wasn't it? 15 votes or something like that within 3 hours. Good evening, Luke. How are we keeping? But yeah, we'll just chat for a few minutes. So apologies, everybody. We're not starting straight away. We'll just give it a few minutes for people to chat and stuff, because I missed an awful lot yesterday in the chat because there was just far too much going on. But we try and get it all done within 2 hours today, hopefully. Because I think the poor moderators are dying, because it's an awful lot. It is an awful lot of writing, and it's an awful lot of termination, and it's an awful lot because we just basically went full on. So for 3 hours, we just basically went full on. Yeah, I think Moonhut is very tired after it. But yeah. So yes, there's 3 parts we're voting on this evening. We're voting amendments to it, particularly to number 7. The mods are in the room, yes, in the room. I don't know. I think we only have 1 mod here at the moment, but I think that's all we need. We don't really need, as long as Davey's doing the write-up of it, I suppose. But Moonhunt can join us if he wishes to. If he wants, he can join. If he wishes to. If he's here at the moment, he can join later on if he wants, if he wants to come in, or if the other moderators want to come in, they can join in any second. The other tablets there for them too. We can talk to them if they need to be. So yeah, we'll give it a few minutes just to say that's why there's no music too, because we have to kind of focus on what we're doing when it comes to the votes, etc. But yeah, how are we doing apart from that? I know it's an awful lot of voting, etc. But as I say, do have a look at the community post, because it is up in the community post. Yesterday's votes. It just took a while. I must have 50 mods, yeah. But we don't need 50 mods. We have 4 mods, which I think is good enough. I think I've seen that, yeah. I think I've seen that. I've seen something about something. Yeah, I've seen something, because we were looking at God is my mod, yes. That's the best mod. He can stop people from doing anything. But yeah. So do you want to get started? Do you want another few minutes? Hello, Cassie. Do you want a few more minutes, or do you want to get started now? Because it will take a while. We will have a bit of a break halfway through, and of course we'll take proposed amendments, etc. Because people can propose stuff too. It's not like me just saying it. Because we do have parts that Shearsha and Aaron only asked for yesterday. We do have them in. Of course, people need to vote on them and say, yeah, this is fine. So yeah. So we want to get started now. Do you want another few minutes, because it's kind of going to, it's going to be everything thrown into. But basically, number 2 and number 3 should be easy, unless people have objections to it. But I don't think there should be objections for the reasons. because they're more related to my conduct. Number 2 particularly is more related to my conduct. Yeah, it's not going to be done quickly. It's still going to take an hour or two, to get through it. It still is going, like number 7 will, in terms of this amendment. It will take a few minutes to go through that one. But I suppose we get started then if nobody else has any objections. But yeah, we can take a break halfway through. But so this is number 2, particularly part 2. At the moment, I'm proposing that it will be kept the same way because it's more to do with my conduct, number 2. Now, I think it's just stupid. Like, it's stupid. 6 hours. It's a bit stupid. And they're not going to stop people from re-uploading it on YouTube, take this app, but they're not going to do it because it'd be impossible to police it. Like, everybody's going to be sharing it everywhere. So it's senseless. It's just a senseless thing. But yeah, so going on to part 2. So this is basically to do with my conduct in terms of replying to people in the chat, etc. To hold people in high esteem, etc. Not to basically curse them or give out to them. Well, not really give out to them, but not to really degrade them, I suppose, is the way, and talk down to them. So this is more to do with my conduct, etc. And to respect people, etc., etc. And civilly, it does say civilly too. So I propose that we keep that. I don't think it needs to be changed because unless you was proposing that I shout at people and call people, idiots, etc. We're not going to do that. I never done that, so we're not going to do it now. So I'm just proposing that we vote to keep it in, basically. So this is basically just a proposal for number 2. Hello, Ben. Sorry, I can't really talk too much because we're trying to get these back. But everything's not much has been happening. Apart from the priests retired, yes, we're not retired yet, but you should get banned. Yeah, we're not going to go down. Well, that's not a proposed amendment. But part 2 to keep in. Just put that keep in. Unless anybody has up to any objections to that. But basically, it's to do with my conduct more than anything else. It's to protect basically to say, I shouldn't basically curse at people, and I shouldn't really tell people they're idiots, etc., etc. You can argue about people. I can argue with people, of course, about saying, "Oh yeah, I disagree with that." But hello, everyone. Going even your amendment's in, but we have to vote on it too on Monday. But this is to do basically part 2. So I'm just proposing, unless anybody has any objections. Does anybody have any objections to what I just read out there a few minutes ago? Just ask. Is everybody happy enough with that? Because there's not really anything else you could really put there because it's more to do with my conduct more than the channel's conduct. So we're happy with that. So basically, this is pretty much simple unless there's any objections, as I say. But we can add in bits if you want. So this is basically Tar O'Neill. So this is to do with my conduct to keep it in. So basically, I just put a keep it in. See, this is to do with part 2. So pretty much we will keep the same. Less people vote on it, the less people vote not to keep it in. So this is basically to do with my conduct and stuff, and we're basically talking to people, etc. I never really shout down people here on the channel, even on the live stream, saying you're an idiots, etc. I hear what you say, etc. Whatever you say, I always read, etc., and listen to what you say. But it's more to do with I can't just shout at you and say you're a bastard, etc. You're no good. That's basically what I'm trying to put. That's what basically we're saying here. So I don't think it needs to be changed. I think people can understand it doesn't need to be changed. I don't do that already, so I think it's fine. I think it's fine because unless somebody wants to add another terminology to it, etc. But I think it's fine. I think everybody would agree it's fine, that part. The next part should be pretty much the same too, unless people want to add in a bit. But again, all this has to be re-voted on to basically rubber stamp it on Monday, basically, everything. So this is basically under the proposal at the moment. It has to be voted in. So there's 2 votes basically on each thing. I know it's insane. But yeah, it's a long process to get everything passed. But yeah, I give it another minute. We give it a few minutes then to that. But does everybody understand what I'm talking about? And if you still don't understand, do let me know. Because I'm kind of just summarizing. It could go into long details because this is a bit long, this one, but it's not too long. But it's basically there. But I think it's fine. I don't think it needs to be changed. I don't see any issue with it. As I say, number 7 might be the most difficult one tonight. Number 3 shouldn't be difficult. Yeah, so I think that's fine. I think everybody is happy with that. I feel it. Just Gordon, don't say that. But at the end of this stream, we might feel it. But after all these things go through. But yeah, so this is basically with part 2. So the tall has won it. Yes has won it. If anybody doesn't understand too, we do it in Irish in terms of yes and no. Tall 100% out of 5 votes. So it stays in, number 2. So you can add that in, David. Number 2 stays in. Right. Yeah, we couldn't do the woes instead. But yes, that's okay. So number two stays in. So whatever's in number two will stay in. So we will write that. I will send it on to you, Davey. We keep the same terminology basically in the same thing. I don't think any, unless anybody has any proposals for number two. Just now, if anybody does, let me know before we get on to number three. But I don't think so. I think it's good enough because it's more to do with my conduct more than anything else. And I think that's fine. I don't think there's any issue with that one now. Not that I know of anyway, because I pretty much think it's sound enough in terms of the statements. So moving on to part three, unless anybody, again, do let me know if you do have an amendment. But moving on to part three, this is to do with standing up for people, particularly in cavan, standing up for the local community and community issues, etc., on the channel, and to do it fairly and honestly. So I do think it's just like it's kind of another thing to do with me more than anything else. Um, so yeah, so I don't know how you would phrase it exactly because the phrasing is not that great in it, but particularly in number three. But I do think it should be fair. Um, so yeah, so part three. So I do propose that part three be kept in, because I don't think there needs to be anything to change because I do put all the time, like usually like everything to do with carving comes first on the channel whenever it's on the community post, etc. You don't have to spell it. The Definitely channel, yes. We do have a constitution, but that's basically the Wild West. So this is only for this channel. I could have to propose everything for the other channel too. And I don't think we want to do that because you can't live stream on that yet. But I propose that we keep number three. That's what I propose to people. Now, I don't know if people object to that. People could object saying it's putting Calvin first, etc. But yeah. So it's up to people. I don't see an issue with it, to be told honest. I don't see an issue. So that's pretty much is to put Cavan issues, on the community post if it's up on the streams. Put them as priority, even though the minor things to put them as priority. So the question is, should it be kept? Basically, this thing to stand up for communities Cavan fairly and honestly. That's pretty much the way it says it. I think that's fair enough, and I think people would be happy enough with that too for number three, for part three. Sorry. So this is the do, and again, if people don't understand, do let me know. And also, just to say, Tar is yes, and Neil is no. So this is basically keep part three in. So let me know. We give it about 2 minutes, anyway. So do make sure to vote. Now, number 7 will be a long one. We have to explain a good bit. These are basically just rubber stamping these two votes, the first two votes. Unless, again, anybody has proposed amendments where you take them. But I don't think it's more to do with my conduct more than anything else, because this is my conduct part. So yeah, we give it a minute or two. Is that fair enough for that? We give it a minute or two. But as I say, number 7 will take a while to explain. So yeah. Yeah, so number 7, I just have to get stuff out of here. And then we'll take proposed amendments. If anybody wants to add anything to yesterday's stream, if we forgot anything, because it is up in the community post, so do make sure to have a look at what we voted on yesterday. Everybody's live once. But I don't think they're doing voting now, unfortunately. They don't think they're doing the game of democracy. LGBT. Well, you can propose that if you want, but yeah, I don't think so. I think there's enough people doing that already without me doing it. But yeah, give it another minute just to say. So yeah, anything else, anybody? So I think people are happy enough for part 2 and part 3 because it's more to do with my conduct more than the channel, but we still have to vote it in again. Because it was only voted on 2000 back in 6 years ago, basically. So it has to be just reintroduced. So yeah, that's I deem it as carried. I deem it as passed. Everything's falling around the place. Lovely stuff. So yeah, Tar's 86%, Neil 14%. The vote is carried. Part 3 can stay in, Davey. Part 3 can stay in. I'll give you the terminology, etc. Vote. We just have to basically write the same thing again. So that's basically so. Moving on to number 7. No, it should be fine. You should see it in the chat when you scroll up. It should be there. I can see it on my end anyway. So this is to do with part 7. Now, this is going to be a bit more complicated than the other two. So this is to do with financial contribution. Literally, that's the word that's used in terms of looking for donations, etc. from the channel. Now, as you know, and I suppose when this was put into back in 2020, and still to this day, a lot of YouTubers look for PayPal and buy me a coffee, etc., etc. And it's always been my opinion that never should be the case on, particularly in the political stream, that is talking about people that are in severe need, take for example, a homeless situation, other situations. I don't think it's right. And again, especially because I have a job, it'd be different if I was, say, unemployed, etc., or was on disabilities or something like that. But if I'm working, etc., so I shouldn't be looking for money of anybody. And that was set in stone, basically. So what I'm proposing that stay in. But the only clause was, and again, we'll vote on this in a second, because there needs to be another vote on this. It says specifically, there was an amendment specifically to leave out charity live streams. Now, we never done a charity live stream. But back in 2020, there was always that we might do one someday for charity. Now, the question will be, that'll be the second question will be asked, should we keep that bit in? Because the only thing it specifies for charity. I can't take donations for PayPal, Patreon, anything like that, basically. And I think that should stay the same. So I would ask people to vote to keep it that way, because I think it would be highly inappropriate to ask people to give me money, basically, for doing nothing. I don't think that's fair. I think people work hard enough for their money. And I don't think it's fair to give it to me. They have better things to do with it than give it to me. Like super chats do include in that, donations, etc. But I don't think so. I shouldn't do it. No, I don't think it's fair. I always believed that it wasn't fair, and that's why it was put in. So I don't think it's fair, and it always was the case that we wouldn't have anything. The only specific thing we voted in the second, but it's to do with charity. If we did do a charity stream, for example, we could do that, but it would have to be. That was the only exemption made here, basically, and that's what I'm asking, to keep it that way. We will vote on this in the amendment to add into stuff there, particularly when it came to AI content and stuff like that. We look at that a second. But this is the thing. So I would ask to keep this part in, to keep these two parts in. Don't pressure me. No, and not even that. Just to have the option. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right. That's the bit I say. Because as I say, I should have a job, for the next 2 weeks anyway. But I shouldn't be looking. I already have an income. I shouldn't be looking for more. It's being very greedy, asking for more and looking for more. And especially when it comes to political content and stuff, you shouldn't be generally looking for money of people. It's not right. It was never me. Like, even if I became homeless, if this happened tomorrow, I would never go looking for food. I would rather starve. To be honest, that's the way I always was in life, because it isn't right. And I always was somebody that paid my way, basically, that never would go looking for something. Like, I could literally be homeless now in the morning. I wouldn't even present myself to Cavan County Council. I wouldn't even bother my ass going near them to ask for anything. Would rather starve on the street. That's, to be totally honest, that's the type of me. And I wouldn't go near, say, if it's in the bar to have for food. I would rather starve. That's just the simple truth. And anybody that knows me would say that, because oftentimes at school and stuff, even if it's in difficulty, etc., I would rather die in the gutter than ask for help, in terms of that. Like, even at school and stuff, I always used to give people money, etc., out of my own pocket and stuff. Do without lunch and stuff for other people. And I do think that's just the good thing about me. That's the way I've always been. So I would ask people to keep that in, particularly to do with PayPal donations, super chats, etc. This basically covers all. The only exception is we vote on the other part in the second, but it's to do with charity. So I propose that we keep number 7 to do with donations, etc. the same, basically, so nobody be able to donate. Does people understand that? Yeah, I've seen something about that, Fiona. But I do propose that we keep that in. So this is to do with part 7. So does everybody understand that? Because this is kind of serious stuff, this part. But I would propose not to have it. I do think it'd be very shameful if we did have it. To be totally honest, I don't mean to influence people's voting, but I do think it's very shameful if we had something like that in this channel. So I would ask you to think about it for a second, because I would think it's very inappropriate for me to be going around looking for money of people. Even having a donation thing, I think would be highly inappropriate to have it. To be totally honest, I don't mean to, you get what I'm saying, but I do think it would be inappropriate, to be totally honest. Part 7 to do with money. Let me see. They look for terminologies now. donations. They can't spell. See, that's the good thing about having moderators here because I can't spell. So that's the only reason I had the moderator here yesterday too. To do money donations on the channel. Yeah, I was in Carrickmacross. Like he's from Carrickmacross. I know. I think it's the other fellow actually. It's from Carrickmacross. So Neil Top. So this is to do with financial contributions in terms of PayPal, super chats, donations, anything like that. So at the moment, it says that no donations will be accepted at all. I do propose that we keep it in. Yeah, McKenna, yes, that's who it is. But yeah, I propose that we keep this in, basically. So the vote has started. I will give an extra few minutes for this one because I do think we'd have ramifications if we did have it in. So I would ask people to think about it first before voting on this one. So we'd ask people, just to vote too. If people want to know, if people are confused, do let me know. Because I don't know to explain it properly. But if you're all confused, do let me know. But as I say, this is to do with financial contributions in terms of PayPal, super chats, etc. Yeah, so basically to do with more, yes or no or yes. So we should really have it or no. Basically, that's the question. So Neil is no, and Tor is yes. So in terms of having it active, etc. So and you're allowing it to happen, basically. So that's basically what we're voting on here. This part. I don't know what I voted for. So yeah, but I give it a few minutes just to let people. But this is basically to do with financial contributions. I say donations, PayPal, super chats, you name it, that kind of stuff. I would propose that we keep it the way it is at the moment, that nobody can donate anything. I do think that's the fairest thing for political channel. I don't think it's fair that somebody would be donating to me. I don't think so. I never was that person, so I think we should keep that in. To be totally honest with you. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm saying, but it have to be asked. Yeah, so no, the Neil is no, like keep it the way it is. Basically, that's what Neil is, and yes, is that we probably should open financial contributions, etc. So Neil would be the option that's at the moment. For the one, yes. So you probably should have had it in English, but yeah, if he's confused, do let me know before you vote. Do let me know if he's confused. But yeah, Neil would basically stay the same. I should probably keep it the same. But yeah. But basically, Neil would be just keeping it the same, the way it is at the moment, without changing. I give it another second. Yes, oh no, yes was you're activating them, like allowing donations, etc. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, that's why I was saying people to vote no, because we don't want that. So I take it that the vote was carried. So Neil, so it remains the same. So this is to do with financial contributions. So Tor 70%, Neil, Neil 70%, Tor 30%. The vote was carried. Basically, keep it the same way. So David, yes, the same way on that in terms of financial. So no PayPal, no donations, etc. To do everything. So is that fair enough? Whatever. I think people might be a bit confused in that one, but I think you've got the gist of what I was saying. So the next thing is to do with the charity bit, the exception for charity. Yeah, obviously I didn't want that one, so I was a bit biased in that one. I didn't really want that one to pass. To be totally honest, I'd be honest with you. I did say it here. I didn't really want it to be passed. Usually other people be like, oh yeah, pass it because we get money out of it. But no, I didn't really want it to be passed. So I was kind of delighted that it's not passed. But again, it has to be voted on again on Monday. So yeah, that could change. So this is to do with charity streams. There's an exception, just to specifically read out what it says. No, we didn't pass. That's something people voted and people said no. We keep it the same way. So so this is to do with the one exception to this. The one exception that was put down in 2020 was to do with charity streams. Now, this is for tidy towns or for Kidney Society, other things like that. Now, we never did a charity stream. We never did one. But if we ever do one, that it would be allowed to have it, basically a charity stream, if we were doing for a good cause, for example, charity, or we were doing some kind of event or something for it. Now, we never did one. We will someday do some kind of one somewhere. So I propose that we keep that in, even though we might not use it yet. It might not be for another year or two before we look at it again. But I propose that we keep that in. Is that fair enough with people? Does people know what I'm asking people now, I suppose? So basically, it will be just to keep this in, to keep part 2 of part 7 in. Yeah, time watch, no. But yeah, we never did one. So that was just because we always said we were going to do one someday for Subman. You get what I'm saying? But we never did one. But I'm just saying, if we ever wanted to say next year to do one, we could do it, because at the moment in time, if we took this out, if we say next year we wanted to do one for Subman, we couldn't do it because it wouldn't be in the Constitution. So we couldn't have done it. We couldn't do it. Through the cap, yes. But is that fair enough? Does people know what I'm asking? Because this. So this is to do with part 7 again. Give me a moment. Give me 2 seconds. Exemption. So I had to get the spelling up. See, this is the worst thing about being dyslexic. It's a nightmare to do all this. So apologies if there's any spelling. It's exception. Yeah, we probably should, but yeah. So yeah, make it so tall. Sorry, there's too much in my mind at the moment these days. Because see, all this is, it's a lot of stuff to remember and stuff. To keep it a no, take it out. So yeah, pretty much it's the tall is yes, of course, just to say. Neil is no. Sorry, put it in the English. Neil, I should probably put it in English instead of Irish. Neil, tall, take it out. Yes, keep it in. Sorry, tall is keep it in, and Neil is take it out. So photo. So this is the part 2 to number 7, to do with the exception for charity streams, if we ever do one. Does people understand what I'm asking in terms of that? Because now is the time to tell me, just before, because we do give it about 2 minutes to go through. So as I said, there's one exception to that in terms of charity streams, but we never did one. But if we ever wanted to do one, we would be allowed to do it, basically, because it'd be in it. Because at the moment in time, if we took it out, we would never be able to do it unless it was voted back in. But one day we could do it. One day we might do it for something. If there was like somebody approached me for a charity stream, we could do it. So is that because people know what to say, like what I'm asking? So this is just to do with the exemption to part 7 in terms of financial contributions. So yeah. So I would ask people just to vote too on these things too, because it's important to know what people want, what people consent to, I suppose. Donate to the GA. It's money for abortion. No, we're not doing that. I think the GA, the GA take no bother. They take everything off you. They take the hand off you too. So, but yeah, no, someday we might do it. But I'd say that's the only reason why the rule was put in, that someday we could do it. Stream ends, yeah. Like there's 2 more. Like number 5 is going to be difficult as fuck. And we're going to be here for an hour discussing it, because it's going to take a lot of discussion to understand how we're going to work that one out. Number 6 is going to be all right. I don't think we're worried about number 6 or number 8 for the moment. If we do get time, maybe we might do number 8, because we do have an amendment, and then people can propose stuff now in a few minutes to it, because we do have another thing to vote on too. That's not in the Constitution at the moment, that we could add in to number 7 as an amendment. So I do think it's passed. I do say it's passed. So the exception for charities will be kept in into number 7. So you can add that down, David. The only thing is into number 7, to part 7, is the exception for charities. Are we okay with that, David? Or that? Is everybody okay with that too? Yeah. So yeah, thanks everybody for their patience in that one. We take a second as a breather just before we go on to the next one. So we have number 2, number 3, and number 7, apart from this one. the proposed amendment. Now, the next thing what we have to suggest is to do with the creation of an AI channel, or an account, say for example, a YouTube account or a Twitter account or a Facebook account, basically social media account, to do with basically asking people for money. This is to do with this fake accounts, made of me, take for example. That never has happened, thankfully, but that's asking for money specifically or uploading videos. And now there's two parts to this. But I do think people should be entitled to upload a video or clip of my channel, whatever I say, etc. I do think that's fair without it being taken down. So I would only propose at the moment, to do with this, that if there was a fake channel pretending to be me, but impersonating me, I suppose, that would be taken down. We would be able to, whatever social media platform it is, specifically if it's asking for money of people, and representing, I suppose, trying to get money off people in my name, I suppose, that would be able to be tackled. It never has happened, but to have it if necessary. Now, to do with the AI bit, we'll look at it in a second. Does people understand what I'm asking, I suppose? So the first part is, well, I don't know, but like the sharing videos, I think we can leave that out unless people propose it. I think people should be entitled to share videos, etc. Like in terms of we uploading my videos, etc. If they wanted to, even on their channel, even with monetization, I do think that's fair, because I don't make money, etc. on the channel. But what I'm trying to say is, if people we uploaded straight away my videos, etc. onto their channel to make revenue or whatever, I do think that's fair enough. But I do think specifically if somebody made an account to try and get money off people, I don't think that's fair. So this is specifically to Part 7, an amendment to Part 7, to do with that specifically. Impersonations, I would call it. Impersonation of a channel, specifically for financial gain, I suppose, we would put it as. Does everybody agree with that? Does everybody agree with that proposal? But I do propose leaving out the proposal of this person, to leave out about share, like in terms of we upload my videos, etc. I do propose that we leave that out. Is that okay with everybody before we vote on it? Or does anybody have any proposal for it? Any proposals, just to say, for this? I know people were saying about AI. I think we leave out the AI bit too. We can vote on if ever necessary. Me King, yeah. It would be a lot easier, Tommy. It would be a lot easier. Because basically this is only part 1. There needs to be another vote now Monday, because everything we basically vote on here has to be like rubber stamped, agreed on. So basically there's going to be another vote on the same thing. Hello, it's been a long time. How are we keeping? Hope all doing well over in Finland. Hope all's good. So yeah, we're okay with that. So this is to do with fake, I suppose, fake profiles of me specifically, asking for financial contributions, etc. It's a long story, labeled like we're voting on different things, the constitution, the channel, etc. So it's a long explanation of everything. But I hope we're well. Hope all's good. Fake. Sorry, just at the portrait. There's somebody behind me. You mean the picture? Yeah, so I might just that in looking. So yeah, this is a bit long explanation, but so yes, so we'll write in English for the moment. Yes. So this is to do with all social media platforms, regardless of what it is. Like, say for example, YouTube or anything. Like, what if about accounts just making profiles of me, etc. That's fine, to be totally honest. But this is more to do with if somebody was impersonating me, looking for money off somebody. Because at the moment in time, we don't have the authority to stop that person. I suppose if we need to. Now you could argue, you could go higher with it, but so yeah, this is to do with impersonations, specifically to get financial contribution. Sorry, but yeah, no, that's the person behind me. Santa Marin's making sure we're safe and sound, looking after us. So yeah, does everybody understand what I'm asking? I'll give it a second or two, but everybody understand. I know this is a proposal by somebody. They didn't want me to put their name on it, but I do think the other parts of it should be left out. And unless people do think we should vote on them, but I don't think so. I think sharing of videos and stuff, like even if it's just a total re-upload of my videos, I think that's fair. I think it's fair. I don't think because you'll be basically like going into people's rights to a fair use, etc. Um, and the same goes for AI content and stuff. If somebody just made an AI clone of me to make videos, etc., I think that's fair enough too. If and especially too because there's no, I don't mind if they're making money off it. I suppose let's put it that way. If there were, but I don't think so. But basically, this is if it happens, might never be used, but just to have it, because as I say, somebody did propose it. Yeah, like you could happen, but I don't mind so much. It's not about the profit. Like we could add in here to make sure we get the profit off them if they were using my videos, but I don't want to. Um, it's none of my business, to get that money, etc. It's more to do with if somebody was using me, for example, as my profile, had a fake profile going around you asking people for money. I suppose misrepresenting me. Like you could argue, you could probably go to the girls for that, but I wouldn't bother my house to go near her. I deal with it myself if I did advise. Um, but yeah, but I would say to people, never give. I never would ask anybody for money, just to say, same as a bank. So just to keep it in mind. So I never would message anybody looking for money. 100% never happen. So just to say, but I'd take that as past. So 100%. Yeah, I can do that. But yeah, but I suppose this can be a couch too. So anything at all, any kind of person looking for money under my name, can be dealt with. In that regard. So this is a proposal, as I say, at the moment is passed. But yeah, no bother, dude. Thank you, appreciate it for being here. Thank you. So you can add that in, Davey, too, to part 7. Now I do propose we take a bit of a break for a second. I wasn't proposing to do this tonight, but we can look at it. Yeah, like it's not to do with money, but this is specifically somebody imposing me looking for money. It's not so much somebody imposing me in general, you know. But we didn't have the power before, now we have the power. But it doesn't matter what social media platform. So is everybody okay with that? Like I don't mind like if somebody was just uploading my videos and getting money off it or something. I don't mind at all. I don't think it's not necessary to worry about that, or even clips. So it's not necessary unless it ever becomes an issue. We can talk about it then. But I think that's just to keep say, like it never has happened. But as this person just proposed and said to me yesterday, it's probably necessary just to have if we did need it. Like if we did need it, this is if we need it. It might never be used, this part, but just to have it. But then hopefully it won't be used. I don't really want to deal with that part, but does anybody have any proposals just before we go on? Because I was this was always going to do, but I do another bit. But that's basically number 7, basically. Unless there's anybody wants that into anything with financial contributions, is anybody else want that anything in? Because people can propose it, just to say. If you have a proposal, we can take it here. We can vote on it here. Anybody have a proposal? Because it kind of works both ways. People can propose stuff. Just when we take a break for a second, we give Davey a break too for a second. We will vote on number 6. Yeah, I can barely talk. But it's a lot more harder because you have to get the councillors and stuff. So it would be a lot harder because we would have to ask each councillor what did they take of it and what they vote for, and it'd be a lot. But we could have it here, like people could wing in and say what they take, but we could be literally here for 6 months just discussing one thing alone. You get what I'm saying? Like as I said, there's nobody really objecting to anything that we're proposing. Like we are giving people time to object, but on Monday people can object. Like we have to vote on all this again on Monday, just to rubber stamp it. Basically, Monday be rubber stamping what we voted on. So basically, everything will be asked again, and the terminology be read out, and people can object to it and say, this needs to be properly written out better or something like that. So basically, what I have from yesterday, it's up on the community post. Today's one will be up tomorrow, hopefully, all going well. And of course, if anybody has amendments to part 1 or part 4 from yesterday, do let me know now because Monday will be a lot of stuff. That's best. Never seen it. Yeah, so basically it's just rubber stamping what we voted on Monday, not now. On Monday, we basically rubber stamping. So basically, we will read out what we have, and people would say yes or no, or people would say let's change, though, add this in, because that's the amendments too. If somebody said, we forgot something before we pass it completely. So at the moment, technically, it is kind of in like what we voted on yesterday, but technically, it kind of isn't at the moment because we kind of it is there, but I suppose there's a bit of a leeway at the moment until it's all rubber stamped. At the moment, technically, we can do something about things, but at the moment, it's technically limited to the moment we can do. But at the moment, it's not necessary to do anything at the moment until Monday, because basically we have temporary powers basically to do it until it's properly voted on. Now, I will just say before I go any further, the proposal that was proposed by somebody that people would decide who gets banned instead of the moderators, etc. I don't think that's necessary. I don't think we should vote on that because if we do that, then everybody can gang up on everybody, and then we just have constant votes of who's getting banned. It'd be like fucking the Soviet Union, people getting banned all the time. You get what I'm saying? Like we couldn't really have that. You get a whoop stamp off Santa, yes. And Santa will give you a whoop stamp for Christmas. So we take another second or two as a break, and then we look at number 6. Number 6 should be just basically passed straight away. It really shouldn't be an issue. We could look at number 8 if we have time. And then we can take proposed amendments and stuff. So anything basically after this. Hello, well this evening. I hope I'm having a good weekend. So yeah, I think we get started on number 6. So this is part 6. We wouldn't plan to do this tonight, but we look at it anyway. So this is to do with representing the people of Ireland fairly. Again, this is pretty much to do with me. But I would say it pretty much only states to represent the people of Ireland fairly. Does anybody want anything included in that? Because this is very short, number 6. It pretty much just states to represent people of Ireland fairly. That's pretty much what it says in the tin. Like it's very self-explanatory, number 6. So does anybody want anything included in that? Because I would propose that we just keep it in. That's what I propose. So basically, unless anybody has anything specifically, because it is very short. To represent the people of Ireland fairly, that's quite literally number 6 for you. Only about 4 words. So anybody propose adding anything to that? Now is the time to ask me, I suppose. Now is the time to say it. Because I know it's very short. It's very vague too, but it never. I don't think we'll ever. Because again, this is more to do with my conduct more than the rules of the stream, but it still has to be passed nonetheless. Because it was added in the 2020. Oh yeah, no, because people voted on them. The community post. People said let's change them, and people wanted to get out Martin Choo-Choo. Martin Choo-Choo. You've often seen him in the comments. Like people wanted to get rid of him. So people wanted to change the rules, and for him to be got rid of, the rules had to be changed basically, because we didn't have the authority before to do anything about it. Basically, because we wouldn't give them the authority. Like basically, we asked people here for the authority to do something about it. Because it's the consent of the people here, and that's the whole point of the matter. That we're looking for the consent of people to do things. That we don't have all the power. That the people can say, we don't agree with it. That's the whole point of changing the rules. Like it hasn't been changed in 6 years. It never was touched in 6 years. Because it wasn't really needed. Like in 6 years, it never was needed to be touched. But unfortunately, the last few months, it had to be looked at. So no proposals for number 6. Now is the time to tell me. But I propose that we just keep it, even though it's just fairly. It just pretty much states fairly. I suppose you could define fairly too. What is fairly? But I don't think there's any need, because I think it's good enough. And number 2 pretty much covers nearly the same thing. But yeah, so we do a vote on number 6, part 6. So I put keep. So this is to do with part six. Now, specifically, to keep it in or take it out. So we'll do the vote now. So this is to do with part six, and I'll read it out again. It basically states to represent the people of Ireland fairly. I know it's very vague, but should we keep it in or should we take it out? Or should we rewrite it? Or what's the story? What do we take? I'll give it 2 minutes or so. I know it's only a very vague thing, but just for people to think about it. Or if anybody wants to add anything to it, do let me know. Because now is the time to tell us too, because we can vote on that straight away. Um, Where's that other thing? I think that's it here. That's it though. From Finnish politics. Well, I don't know about that one. I think I have to say something now and again. Swat on the fly. Yeah, so basically just to keep it in. So basically to do what I specifically weighted out. It's number six specifically states, and to represent the people of Ireland fairly. So basically, it's basically to do with me. So I think just keeping it in, unless people wanted to add something into it. But you'd be happy number two. You'd be happy with number eight, Cassidy, when we get there. But I do think we should allow me to at least dabble a bit in Finnish politics now and again. Because there's a lot of money on the line too, allegedly. So we can do that. So yeah, this is basically just my conduct, basically. Like, I know it sounds stupid, but it's basically that's what. But people did vote on it back in 2020, so we have to reintroduce the people wanted to vote on it. But of course, this is only we have to rubber stamp it all next week. Well, it's not every day. It's literally not every day, but you'll be happy with number 8 when we get there. Like, it isn't every day. Like, there's a lot of days I don't have to talk about it. It's only when necessary. Because I do know a good bit about it. Like, this is the thing compared to the only Joe. Not mean to say I'm smart or anything, so the proposal is carried. Well, not the proposal. To keep it in is carried. So number 6 stays the same, Davey. Just the same. Number 6 stays the same. So is there any right and anybody wants to include in that one? Because it only says fairly. Is there anything anybody wants to include into that? Because now is the time to tell us. But you can tell us Monday too, because everything will basically have to be re-voted to say. Yeah, right. Excuse me. No, I know a good bit. Like, a lot of people, they think, oh yeah, every Finnish person's living the life of Riley. Like I said to somebody the other day, it has the highest unemployment in the European Union, one of the highest in the world. And they didn't believe me. They literally had to go and look it up, because they were like, no, how they're a happy country. Like, you're talking shit. Like, and then they were like, oh, they looked it up and they were like, actually, because they thought, oh yeah, happiest country in the world. There's jobs everywhere. There's money everywhere. And I see all the time Indians online, etc., and Pakistanis and stuff. And they're like, oh, Finland's a happy country and so much money. Everybody gets free houses and jobs and a whole lot. But then when they turn up to Finland, it's a very different story. That's if they get accepted, of course, too. But you get what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people don't understand. Like, even the Irish government, they don't understand, the sheer austerity, I suppose, at the moment. And I don't think they understand it at all. Like, the Irish government don't. Because I've spoken to people, like, in the Irish government about it, and they didn't really know what I was telling them, because basically they never heard it before. Because they don't be paying attention, basically. They don't believe it, basically, what I was telling them. And because the people over in Helsinki are not reporting back the full extent of what's happening. Like, they're not saying the full story. Yeah, like, I do talk about Northern Ireland politics, but it's basically the same thing. It's just a mess. I'm not over the border every day. No, God, no, I'm not over it every day. It's only once in the blue moon I'm there. But yeah, no, it's a mess. Like, I do talk when I have to talk about Northern Ireland politics, but I don't know too much. Like, I know about Sinn Féin power sharing and stuff, but I do talk about it now and again and all that. There's things to talk about, but um, you know, without hell, yeah. But yeah. So we move on to number 8. So nobody has any proposals, just to ask. So number 8 is to do with phone policy. This is what we were just asked. Um, Now, specifically, the phone policy states to put Ireland issues before anything else. Put Ireland, like basically what was, for example, just to take for example, uh, some political scandal, take for example, happens, and I'm talking about something that's happened in Japan. Basically, it's to do with putting everything Ireland first. Do you get me? Basically, that's basically what it pretty much states here. Of course, it does say to talk about things if necessary. Like say if something happens, God forbid, in England, a terrorist attack, or in France, they for example, to talk about that, etc. But it does say specifically to put Ireland first, and usually even with just take for example the Finnish stuff, the Finnish stuff. Like usually it's after I post what I have to post about Ireland. Usually it's second after Ireland stuff, basically. Like I would post the Irish stuff first, and then I would post the Finnish stuff, if that makes any sense. What I need to post, if that makes any sense. So yeah, so it's basically to do with foreign policy. So this is basically to do with Ireland first, not the political party, but putting Irish issues first in terms of politicizing. I would use the word politicizing. So I would propose that we keep it the way it is. There's not really anything you could, unless people want to add something to it. But I do think it's fair enough because it does pretty much say put our Irish issues first. And I do think it's fair enough, unless people want to change it a bit. There's what to change it. It's any proposal to change it. Because pretty much it's being done. Like it is really been done. So what do we take? It's up to you again. We'll vote on it in a second, but I'll give people time to think about that because it is fake. But the whole purpose of number 8 was specifically to do with putting Irish issues first. Do you get me? Do you understand what I'm saying? Basically, just that some people get an understanding of what I'm saying. If you don't understand, please do let me know. There's a fire. Sorry, there's a fire in the town. Let me see. So I'm just reading this. There's a fire. All right. Seems to be bad fire too, because they sent out units from Beltobert to help with the fire from cavan. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Sorry. But is everybody happy with that now? Just ask. Yes, no, maybe, possibly. Are we okay, Davey, with everything? Just to say, I hope I'm not going too fast. But now is the time to tell me too. Yeah, I don't know. Just sorry, it was just that's why I was just looking at that. I don't know, nothing really at the moment. It's just pretty much after happening there, not even 10 minutes ago. So I just was looking at that because it must be quite bad because the whole cavan fire brigade are out. They've called for reinforcements from Beltobert, so it must be something bad. It's apparently spread to another property too. It's 2 houses that were on fire. So hopefully nobody's injured, but we'll see. I keep you updated if I hear anything. Yeah. Nothing else that came through at the moment. Just looking at that because it came through a few minutes ago. I'm only seeing it now. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, it could be just somebody left the stove on it. It's unfortunate thing, but it can happen. So I propose that we keep part 8. Yeah, hopefully everybody's fine. But we see. Oh, don't know. Yeah, so this is to do with Power 8, as I say. I think everybody understands what I'm talking about. Excuse me, apologies. So this is to do with foreign policy and putting on enforced, um, particularly when it comes to social media posts, etc. Not social media, but YouTube posts and other stuff. There's actually one more proposal. Actually, now I'll give you just a second here, but there's actually something else we probably should look at because it never was actually the rules. But we look at it in a second. It's to do with giveaways, and it's to do with, say, for example, we've done a quiz. Take for example. We'll give it a second. Money after thinking. I should have told you, Davey, about it. Money after thinking about that. But I proposed it anyway. Just, even though we don't do it every day of the week, but quizzing. I give it a minute. Let's give it another minute for people to vote. Apologies, knocking the place down. Are we happy enough? No, everybody understands what I'm asking. Because if you still don't understand, do ask. I don't think it's necessary. Yeah, like I could post stuff on Twitter and stuff, but it's the spelling and stuff. That's what gets me, and the grammar and stuff. Because the main thing, everything's always said. Anytime I post anything, oh, they're like, "That's just wrong," or "This is wrong." You know, get them saying. I could say literally, "I am a millionaire," or "Won the lotto," or "Get married," and somebody would say, "Actually, you spelled this wrong." You know, actually, you know, and I'm just like, "Good luck, goodbye." You know, that's why I don't post on Twitter much because it's just like goodbye. But yeah, I don't think there's need to be totally honest. Like I'm happy enough being on YouTube. You know, I'm happy enough. There's not really any need. I don't know what we have to because I wouldn't be on TikTok. I wouldn't let anything go on TikTok. But I don't think there's much need. I don't think so. I think it's good. I think it's good for the moment now. If I ever need to do it, maybe. But I think it's good enough for the moment. But yeah, so the vote is passed. Part 8 stays the same. Total result. So to keep it in, so part 8 stays the same, Davy. So we take a break, but I have a proposal now in a second to do with quizzes and giveaways. Now, this is to do with subscribers, only letting people who are subscribers and who are regular to the channel be in giveaways and be in quizzes, etc. And I think it's a fair thing to say because we did have it for a long time when we did do a load of giveaways back in the day. Like take for example here. So this is from 2020, 2021, and 2022. Now all of them are not here, but I should show you this. This is from 2020. This is from the last few years. But we stopped really keeping records after that. We should have probably kept records, but we didn't. Actually, all of them are not here. But like basically, we used to give loads of phone credit, like Google Play cards and stuff. Like take for example, PlayStation cards, credit stuff. You know, Vodafone and stuff. We used to get credit for people and stuff. August and stuff. We got a few things for August. Like basically giveaway stuff. This was giveaway stuff. Mainly, it was a lot of gift cards and stuff like that. Google Play gift cards, like PlayStation, and not all of them are here now. A lot of them went missing. We're not missing, but but we have a lot of them. This was giveaways and stuff. We didn't keep them all, but actually we did keep a lot actually from that time. But I can tell you now how much it was back then because we stopped. We should have kept records. There's another few there on the bottom of the thing. I can't get them out. So in 2020, there was 135 euros spent on giveaways and stuff. In 2021, there was 400 euros spent. In 2022, there was 170, fucking what I'm trying to say, 175 euros spent. So it's about 600 altogether or so. And then to do with the tidy, like, so So yeah, this is the thing. This is the thing for them few years. Goes through it. Yeah, it goes through the Cavan Day stuff. That's the thing. It was €1,175 that was spent between them. I think it was them using when the Cavan Day thing was going on too, because you have to remember. But no, that would be wrong because the person that got the 200 didn't take the prize. So I actually made a mistake there because he didn't take the prize. He didn't take the 200. So yeah, never mind. That figure's wrong. It's about 1,000, but it'd be about 1,000, yeah. Because the problem was because he didn't take the money. I can't remember who it was, but he didn't take the money. But Shawnee, I think people remember Shawnee got the €400. We had €400 for the first prize for the Calvin Day quiz. And I think the €100 Assassin got €100, wasn't it? Assassin, yeah, I think it was Assassin too. They got €100. And then for that Christmas, we done, I think it was nearly €150. So that's where we're going. Yeah, it was around 2020, yeah. So that's what it was. Because there's the routine. But the problem was, just to say, there's one problem here. I think we forgot at the time about it. Like basically the €200, you see the way I have the line cost. The post didn't accept the prize for the Cavan Day things. So yeah, that's what it does. But I don't know where this came out of this too. Yeah, it was about like all the giveaways together. I think that's what it all was. Like this is only for 2020, 2021, 2022. This is basically from since we started the channel, so it's about €1,000 or something like that was spent on giveaways and the quiz. The quiz was a huge part of it because there obviously was five. Like it's basically if the poster didn't take the 200, like basically it was like €500 plus the 600 was nearly €700 in prizes basically at that time. Now the person should have took the 200. I was arguing with him that time. He wouldn't take it. He wouldn't give me the account to give him the money. But Assassin, I think people remember Shawnee won it. Do you remember Shawnee won it? There's people remember the Calvin Day quiz. But basically it's to do with quizzes and stuff. If we ever do it, because it's like it's €1,000 base that was spent and stuff. And a lot of times, a lot of people who won the quizzes back in the day, basically. Where did I put that thing? It's there, yeah. A lot of people back in the day who entered the giveaways and stuff for phone credits and stuff, even though it was €20, were just people who came along and seen and won it, happened to win it because we spin a lucky wheel, and they just happened to win it. Like there's people that never subscribed and they won it. So I think it's unfair that they win it. It never happened in a long time, but it did happen back in the day. So I proposed that we add an amendment to 9. I think we proposed to add a whole new rule in number 9. To this, but particularly to do with giveaways and quizzes, that the people who are subscribers and people that are, like channel subscribers, etc., should come first. But yeah, it would be 1K because if it's €400 for the top prize for the Calvin Day thing, then you add in the €100 there is for Assassin. That's basically €500 straight away. And then if you add in like all these, like it's like look at all this, like look at all these receipts, because basically all these are receipts for phone credit, for PlayStation credit. Like these are all receipts of what was spent. Like August, stuff was bought in August for people. Like that's basically all of them there. Like PlayStation gift cards and a lot of PlayStation gift cards. Like there's a €50 one right there for somebody that time. There was a €50 one. And then there was a Google Play card. I can't remember how much this was. This was €20. There's another 20. So you wouldn't find an adding up. You wouldn't find an adding up there. It was about 1,000. Because then you add in the Calvin quiz. It would be about 1,000. That was a bit wrong, as I say. Because the person that accepted the 200, he didn't accept the 200. So it is about 1,000. It says 1,175. But that would be wrong. That would be wrong because it would only be 1,000. Yeah, that's insane. But we didn't have a rule, basically. So there was never any rule. That's the problem. We never had a rule about it. You get my point. There was never a rule. So we talk about having a rule. If we did do one, say, for example, in the morning, because we did one recently. I'm sure people remember we done a Santa Marin quiz a few months ago. And Green Phase was in it. And now Green Phase wouldn't accept the money either. There was €100 on the line, and he wouldn't take it. But that €100, basically, we got him a hat. We got him to make a Calvin again. Grid again hat. We got him a hat for it, basically. It was only 37s up, but that money that he didn't take will go back into another quiz sometime. We probably do something at Christmas or something for a quiz. Yeah, there you are, Greenface. You wouldn't take the money, disgraceful. But it's not added in here. This is from back in Good while ago, 2020, 2021, 2022, around the lockdown period. But it wasn't an awful lot of money. You have to remember too, I was still at school at the time when I done the diamond giveaways and stuff. You get what I'm saying? But it was about €1,000, yeah. It was about €1,000, which is very generous to just give to random people. You know, yeah, but yeah, but it's very generous. But yeah, so I propose to make a new amendment to Part 9, a new one, that we will have a couple of times. Oh Jesus, don't say that. Don't say that. I would say people down in Clare are very happy with Donald Trump. I was hardly that blind. But yeah, though that's what you want. You didn't want anything else. I was trying to give you the money, you wouldn't take it. So disgraceful. Oh, joking. I thought you were serious there, but I was like, oh no. But yeah. But I hope you like it anyway. At least it's something. It's something that's a quiz. But you wouldn't take the money. For now on, we have to make people take the money if they win it. Because you were literally the only one in the quiz. That was only a few months ago, but it was this one. It's a bit different than this one. I got him to make a cavan again, great again hat. Because he wouldn't take the money. He wouldn't take the money. He wanted to make cavan again, great again hat, but he wouldn't take the money. Yeah, it's a small bit different, but near enough the same. Like at the time, I should have bought ones anyway. So this to do with give. I can't spell. Time to go to the old phone. Giveaways. Quizzes. People, yeah. No, but like you won a fair and square. Like it'd be different if I was, but you won a fair and square. But I do think we should add a rule that people would have to take the money if they're joining quizzes and stuff. But that money will be like the money that was left over will be put in someday to another quiz or some other thing. We will do it for something. We probably might do something for the European presidency. If we do something, I might do something there. We'll see how that goes. But but that was the last thing. But we didn't include in that figure. That's only from this year. This is from back 6 years ago, because we used to do ones nearly every month. And I used to be at school and stuff, and I would give up a lot of my money to have the giveaways and stuff. Victory, that's it. So this is the giveaway. So the question is only for subs and people who are here. LO. I just put LO because it won't let me put any more. Oops, sorry, apologies. No for everyone. Don't know. I had another. Don't know. I'll keep it the way it is. Actually, no. What am I saying? I have fucking the other thing. Don't know. I don't know. I have a random one. I shouldn't have put it here, but might let me. I can delete it now. Yes. So yeah, this is to do with quizzes and giveaways. This is another this is a new amendment. This is new to the Constitution. So this is to do with if we were all, say, for example, doing a PlayStation giveaway, well, not PlayStation, but PlayStation Plus or anything giveaway. Could anybody join it, or could only people that are on the channel join it, that are subs or here a long time? Because the problem was years ago, people would join it and they would never come to the channel before, and they just got it, But if we do like even the quizzes and stuff, it should be for probably people that are here a good bit and stuff. Than somebody just coming in for the big prize, if that makes any sense. Even though the last quiz was only €100. And then Greenface didn't take it. Disgraceful Greenface. Going to keep beating up Greenface over it. But as long as he got something, I was happy that he took something because the other fellow with the 200 euros that time, he wouldn't take anything. I was saying, I get you something else. I get you, I put them, I buy you, um, like some kind of thing. I would put it towards the games or whatever. If you want me to buy games for you, I send it to you. But he wouldn't. He wouldn't literally take anything. He wouldn't take anything for the 200. Like I was literally willing to buy him a telly for 200 euros if he wanted the telly. But he simply wouldn't even tell me what he wanted. Like I was saying, give me an account, give me some kind of account that sends you the money, or I'll give me your address and I send you gift cards for 200 euro. But he wouldn't even let me do that. So we couldn't get. So we wouldn't literally accept this. That was the problem. But take for Sean, he accepted, and Assassin accepted too the prize. Because it wasn't really fair that he'd done the quiz and put loads of because it was a long quiz too, and he didn't take the prize. Like, when he came second, he got the second highest prize. It was a bit unfair for him, but he wouldn't take it. I don't know. He didn't. He did like he did. He was only doing it for fun. But I wanted them to take it, but I suppose. But yeah, like I think it's fair. Like it's not fair somebody else just coming in and doing it. So yeah, give it another second just for people to vote. But this is a new part, Davey, just to say. So this will be part 9, just to say. So this is new. This wasn't in it before. This is a whole separate thing for giveaways and stuff. So I propose that it's passed. So it's only for subs and people who are here a long time. So what that means, the LO, they couldn't put the full spam, but basically it's for people that have subbed, etc., for a good long time. Hello, Sean. So yeah. Yokio, so we could maybe see that, yeah. But we have to do something at some point because I was planning to do something at some point too, but we never got around to it. We just never got around to it. We'll see. It takes a while to plan it all out, and it's a long time. But yes, that's a new part. So this is part 9. So this is new to do with giveaways and stuff. Are you okay with that, Davey? So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted voted on today. Now tomorrow we have to talk about the way Saoirse suggested that it would be every year that we review it. Basically, we'll have to talk about just the rules and conditions. But we could just chat for a few minutes. But does anybody have any proposals for anything? Now is the time to tell me. And because tomorrow we will be just working on the rules. So there'll be more votes tomorrow. And then Monday we'll just vote on everything. Again, we have to vote on everything to rubber stamp it to make it 100%. But do have a look at the community post, just to say to everybody. Do go on to the community post if you have a second later on, or even now if you have a chance. So this is on the community post now. So this is the what we voted on yesterday. So basically everything we voted on yesterday. Is that fair enough? So do have a look at that for Monday because we need to know for Monday. Sorry, give me a moment. Sorry about that. I'm just moving stuff. So any proposals? Any proposals at the moment? Is there anything you want to propose? Anybody? Anything about any of them at all? Anything at all? Yeah, is there any proposals or any suggestions? Now is the time to tell us. Because tomorrow we'll just be going through the rules of conduct, etc. Would you do you believe in more? Yeah, of course, people have more like objectives, etc. It's like people feel like they're here for a reason, etc. Yeah, like that is true and stuff. Yeah, I have a bit of faith in that. Yes, that kind of thing. But yeah, like kind of, I would say not really, but I suppose kind of in a way. It's kind of like I do think we're all here for a purpose in life. I do think that everybody has a different purpose. I do think, but I don't. I suppose I don't really know how to answer that one. I suppose it would be. Human invasion of observation of Leitrim. Yes, that's what we're voting on now. We're doing that right now. That's the next proposal. But is there any other proposals? In all seriousness, any proposals? Because now is the time to tell us. Because tomorrow we'll be going through just the rules and stuff. The basic stuff, not the basic stuff, but like the how the constitution works, etc. We'll be looking at. Take for example, somebody proposes up in a few weeks' time. How do we work out that basically? Because we have to kind of work out just the basic things. The basic. How do we propose amendments, and how do we do this, and how do we do that? And then Monday we'll be voting on everything again, basically. So I would say to be here Monday evening if you can. Because we will have to basically go through everything. But I would say to people, have a look at it tonight, what we voted on yesterday, please. Obviously, tomorrow's one will be up tonight, Or GTA, we're not for a while now. I think we've done a fortnight stream once before. I think that was it. How to steal Constitution, oh Jesus. So yeah, literally nothing else. Nobody else has anything else to say about it. No suggestions or anything. Because now, don't be afraid to suggest something too, because we can vote on it. People can decide. It's the people's choice. Yeah. Give me a moment, sorry. I just have to do a few things here. What is this now? So I'm just multitasking. I have to do just something now. So I'm just here. Find out about this file and what is happening. Don't think there's been much of an update to be done down there. I could be wrong, but I'll look into it anyway. Yes, I agree. This. Sorry now, just 2 seconds. See, I wasn't paying attention to much what was happening when I was talking. Let's see. Where am I now? Yeah, that's it. What is this? Yep. Yeah, that's fine. Sorry about that. So there's no other proposals to do with anything. So is everybody happy the Mountain Choo Choo is no longer here? I think everybody's delighted, because the one thing everybody was saying to me yesterday and in the comments, everybody's delighted that he's gone. I'd never seen so many people so celebrating over thing. Like, to be totally honest, some people thought it was like the winning, like Cavan winning the Sam Maguire Cup. That's the way people going on. Jesus Christ, be praised. Yeah. Can't get this in now. It's so big now. Get in the fuck. Here we go. Oh Jesus. But he can always appeal it too. outside the post office. Like way over Finland. So yeah. But yeah, you can always appeal it. You can appeal it once, as we voted on, but he hasn't appealed it yet. But I suppose we haven't set the function for people to appeal stuff. Like we will have to add that in tomorrow, but it will most likely be to send it to my Gmail account to write an explanation. That's what they should write. But that's all. So we do that tomorrow. We plan that out tomorrow. Because we obviously they need a platform to be able to appeal it. So yeah. So yeah, literally nothing else to suggest anybody. Because tomorrow would just be basically a few words, and then Monday be basically just rubber stamp and everything. But yeah, that's basically it. So is there anything else anybody wants to say? Because tomorrow will be just a basic few things. And then Monday will be a lot of stuff because we just basically have to rubber stamp everything. So yeah. No, I was just about to say that. Tony was always on to me about, oh, you're never live. You should be on live longer. Like the last few days, like we've been on like insane. Like yesterday was 3 hours. Today is nearly 2 hours. And then like Monday's going to be definitely 3 hours again to fold everything through again. So do be here for Monday, just to say. And I'd say to other people to be here for Monday. Yeah, I couldn't tell you, Gordon. I never seen you, so I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Of course. But yeah, that's basically all we going. That's all she wrote for tonight. Do have a look at the community post, just to say, please. That's pretty much it. That's all for tonight, everybody. That's all the voting for tonight. Tomorrow there'll be a few more, and then we'll have all the voting Monday. They can terms of rubber stamp and everything. But yeah, thanks everyone. I appreciate this always. It's been a lot. Thankfully, it wasn't as long as yesterday. I was only posting here. I think so. Yeah, I can't remember, but I think it was. Yeah, but a lot of votes and stuff. But yeah, but anyway, it's a long time since we did it. But that's what I'm saying. But anyway, thanks everyone. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and I'll chat to you again at some point. Hopefully soon. Hopefully tomorrow. Sorry, apologies. We'll be back tomorrow with more votes. Thanks Sean. Thanks OJ. Thanks Gordon. Thanks Fiona. Who else was here? There's other people here. Thanks to the moderators, of course, too. But yeah, that's it. Thanks everyone. See you later, and we chat tomorrow, hopefully at 7:00 tomorrow for more votes. And then we have Monday, which will probably be 6:00. It will probably be 7 or half 6 Monday. But tomorrow we'll be back tomorrow. So see you later, and thank you.